Alright. Now that I'm done with the enormous amount of fidgeting, get all myself, like, situated in this chair. Let's do it. Yes, one of these days I will arrive upon an actual intro. Script. But it's not today. Not today! How's everyone doing? Alright, so we're back to White Scars as the big tournament I was prepping for occurred. In which case I did not win Best Painted, but surprising myself massively, I did win 3rd place. Even got a fancy paper for it. So, I'll talk about that more in a minute. Yeah, we're doing White Scars again, and I'm gonna start with this Purity Seal that I left unpainted because I promised a little while ago I'd make a Purity Seal tutorial, and then the footage that I had for painting a Purity Seal I didn't really like, so I'm gonna do another one. And I'm remembering I have to make the light even darker than I normally darken it for streaming because the white just messes with the camera. Okay, that's good. Alright, so for watchers, anyway, I mean the actual tutorial, I can in English, I think. The actual tutorial will be super sped up and have subtitles, but for viewers, and I suppose people on YouTube, oh, like 2 of you, this is Rakarth Flesh for the undercoat. Because whenever I do Pallid Witch Flesh, the next step, I always do Rakarth as an undercoat because it is really hard to get Pallid Witch Flesh actually opaque without overdoing it and making it look weird. So I just skip whatever the primer / base coat is going to do, and just put a solid coat of Rakarth Flesh. Unless it's super obvious, I'm not going out of my way to make it super opaque. It just needs to be present. So, like, ironically, I hit the cam. Get that focus a little closer here. By the way. That is basically exactly what I was going for. So cool. The, even pre-stream, the, jukebox is really working with me today. It's a good day when the jukebox actually picks appropriate tracks. Of course, now that I've said that, next track is going to be some ASMR of, like, deep space static or some nonsense. Even though I'm all for deep space, just not a constant crackling in my ears. Not sure how this is gonna go, considering it's a super liquidy. Not sure what happened to my witch flesh, but it's like super watery now. I don't know, actual track. Actual music. Something I can muse to. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those where I have to sit and wait for like every single track, jeez. Every single coat to dry. But anyway, a bit about the tournament. Yeah, going in with Raven Guard, totally expected to get completely smashed. And, like, I was like, the whole month leading up to it, I'm thinking I'm just gonna go for painting. No. And then Universe was like, hey, your expectations out the window. How about first game against Drukari? And I'm like, ah, it's Drukari. Alright, let's go. They're fast than me, they hit hard at me most of the time. This is gonna be great. I had changed my list up to be way more of just like a gun line, and it worked in my favor. I kept getting first turn. That definitely helped, like a lot. But like, in all seriousness, I mostly just set explosives with my infiltrators and then sat back shooting. About all I did. The new Raven Guard secondary, pretty good. I got a solid 12 points off it every single game. Wait, no. First game I got 6 points, because I didn't fully understand the rules, so it was my first time using that secondary. In the tournament, I know. Great idea. Second game I got 9 points. It was the last game I got 12 points. But still, it's easy points when you know what you're doing. And you got a lot of, forward deployment, which is kind of why I'm thinking, I think rather sooner rather than later, like after I finish up some conversion work on some of my personal pieces, which granted will take a while, because conversions always take a while, doing up the Sakaran and Storm Raven. I am going to, I think, go through a sprue of infiltrators slash what is their name? Incursors. And make another squad infiltrators. Now, I was tempted to make them incursors, because a lot of people like those, because, you know, melee, better melee. And their ignore cover ain't bad. However, I like infiltrators better because of their deep strike denial, so I really just don't have to worry about deep strike for huge swaths of the board, and I like that how I use strike a lot. He on top of all his other rolls do continue to give them reroll once a hit, no matter where he is, without being the kind of crappy Phobos Captain. Like, I don't know. The Phobos Captain with the one-shot sniper rifle is kind of underwhelming to me. Especially when his, like, big thing is Camo Cloak and Snipe. It's like, Strike has Snipe with Mortal Wounds, with Jump Pack, and, like, really intense melee. So, like, yeah. And for, like, for Chapter Master, I'm pretty sure Strike actually comes out cheaper if you were to give the Phobos Captain, the Chapter Master upgrade. So, all in all, makes way more sense to me. Infiltrators are pricey. So, I may have to cut other stuff out to continue to do the same lists. Like, will probably be... So, the list had 2 5-man infiltrators with comms array, and 2 5-man intercessors with auto bow rifles, grenade launcher, and one of them had a power sword, because he was already modeled with a power sword. I'm kind of thinking is it remove the intercessors, obviously, which I don't know if I'd need a ton more points, but I could also knock some points off by downgrading the eradicators from heavy melter rifles to standard melter rifles. It's still, I mean, they overkilled just about everything they shot at by quite a good margin, so, like, I don't feel like that's a bad take, especially considering all the other anti-armor I have in that list, which is, frankly, a lot. Alright, next step on this is Agrax Earthshade. Because that list also had a Sakaran Vander with Lascans, the Storm Raven had multi-meltas, and its flat 3 damage. Let's see. Its missiles were Strength 8, Neg 3, flat 3 damage, or in first turn, Neg 4, flat 3 damage. I had Land Speeder Typhoon with multi-melta. also 10 Hellblasters with Assault Plasma Incinerators, which anything Strength 7 down is greatly threatened by, in all reality, because, yeah, 30 shots. Yeah, like, you still have to kill a lot of them before you really, like, dent that number in any meaningful way. Alright, let that dry. I'm waiting for that. I'm gonna pop the button on, pouch there. Needs a little dot of silver. So a lot of anti-armor. Basically anything I pointed, anything significant. Oh yeah, and then Relic Contemptor had Volkite, which isn't really anti-armor necessarily unless you just want to drown him in mortal wounds, which is kind of a risky take. But you could. But it had the missile launchers, which is like, 2 more strength 8, neg 2, d6 rockets. It's kind of a lot of options if you got vehicles for me to say, no, you don't have vehicles anymore. Or just strong stuff, for that matter. It was interesting how I had no snipers, but for 2 of the games, I took Assassinate. Oh yeah, we had, we rolled it that you choose your secondaries per match, to keep from people getting, knocked out of a secondary due to some kind of faction shenanigans, like, inherently. Like, you take some kind of psychic thing, and then you end up against Necrons, So we chose secondaries per match. And, I had to assassinate for 2 of them, and I almost maxed out against Necrons. Ironically, I only did max it out partially because one of the guys resurrected. So in theory, I could have gotten 3 more points there. And the Space Wolves, I didn't max out because he conceded, but I got a lot of points from that anyway. But yeah, it was just amusing how many times I was able to level, like, massive anti-armor weapons that had no place aiming at just a single dude and just sometimes literally eradicating a character. Who was it? Was it the Necron Lord that I got with, the Sikaran? I don't remember. Someone I pointed the Sikaran's main cannon at, which, if you don't move it, which I never do, it's flat 6 damage. It's 3 shots. I know it's no hammerhead, but that thing's a little ridiculous. That thing is basically the profile the hammerhead should have. Because it can still be blocked by invulns, but it makes up for that by having 3 shots and last cans. Is that entirely dry? Kind of looks entirely dry. Alright. I'm gonna hit it up with a little bit of dry brush. Kind of similar to what I do with bone. Pretty close. Tyrant Skull. It's just gonna give the edges a bit more of a consistent parchment, and then the next one, the highlight, is gonna actually pull up the ridges. But, yeah, it surprised me. So the 3 matches I had were Chukari, Necron, Space Wolves, and I won all 3 by just shooting the ever-living crap out of them. We weren't doing by wins, we're going by total points, but, like, even, I guess the total points were enough compared to the other people. 3rd place. Off of a Raven Guard, like, standard Raven Guard, not successor. Like founding Raven Guard shooting list. Somehow that worked. So, I'll take it, I suppose. Alright, it's not a huge dry brush, still just a little bit. This is Praxity White. I find it ironic and I did intend on talking about this on stream. I find it ironic that I just started to become comfortable again with doing like all shooting lists and dropping my Vanguard Vet Bomb right before they drop all the Leagues of Votann stuff, where they show that like Lightning Claws are gonna get, you know, smacked. At least by the Space Dwarves, because they have a new they have armor of Contempt Plus, basically, where not only do they reduce AP, and this is like all of them basically. Not only do they reduce AP, but you can't re-roll hit wounds or re-roll damage wounds against them, if I understand it correctly. There we go. Pretty well highlighted there. Time for scripting. So here's the thing with scripting. You have two ways to go in about it. If you got thick black paint, hit up a small brush. If you got liquidy black paint, get a larger one. The whole point, though, is it's gotta have a point. By that I mean the brush, not the scripting. The scripting can just be scribbles. It still looks like scripting. Which is basically what I'm going to draw on there. I'm not going to do anything special right now. I'm just going to be black scribbles. I'm using a thick-ish matte black from Army Painter. What I mean by that is that it's not the bottle that I kept pouring paint back into for my airbrush. So it's fairly thick still. Or, you know, what you'd expect from black paint. And part of this is if you see, I'm pushing against my thumb here to like steady everything. I merely just put like a dot right in the middle. That was not my intention. Of course I'm gonna screw it up. I'm only filming for a tutorial. Don't do stuff correctly or anything, especially on this part that's really hard to fix. Whatever. In truth, like, it's hard to like properly screw this up. As long as it like looks good from a distance, it's fine. But yeah, as usual, new guys on the block look absurdly strong and powerful in the Leagues of Votann. I like the concept of their tokens of judgment. That's basically a purity seal there. Let me get an autofocus here. Trying to get yeah, okay, let me get an autofocus here for the thumbnail. Maybe like this. Get real up close. Yeah. Now to purity seal. Alright, this piece is done. Yeah, the League of Votann look absurdly good. Like, you know, I'm really hoping that Space Marines get something absolutely brutal in the 9.5 edition codex, because, dear God. I mean, like, one of the big reasons Sisters are dominating the field right now is because, literally, they're cheaper Space Marines, but have, like, extra stuff on top of a lot of things that Space Marines do already. Like, really? But because they're cheaper, they can field way more of them. And do all their extra crazy stuff, like Miracle Dice. One day I'm gonna remember to clean out my merch mug, so when I go to the crafting angle like this, you see some merch. Yeah. Hello, Centurion Devastators. I'm gonna hope I said that right. How are you doing? I'm gonna call you Cent. Does that work for you? Oh, I did say it correctly. Okay. I think I'm still gonna call you Cent. Alright, so that's a torso done. Let's move on to an arm. Welcome to the stream. Hope you like looking at white. We're gonna be looking at white for a while. Do I want to paint the gun or the chainsaw at first? Kind of thinking the gun. Also, waiting for a mini I just got off Amazon. What you get? What mini you got coming in? I hope you like streamer interaction, because man, do I like interrogate the holy crap out of my viewers to start talking. I want to know everything. I'm gonna start with the black, because I already got some black on my palette. It's got the Mascos, $20 for it. Oh, like the Harlequins? Aren't Harlequins still good? I think they're still good. Oh, right, the Slanesh one. I mean, they're so similar, it's like, whatever. No, I'm joking. Okay, yeah, the Slanesh one, gotcha. I'm gonna look that up. I don't remember what that looks like. Slanesh. Right, it's 2 A's, not 2 N's. I keep thinking it's 2 N's. Mask. Why do I see 2 different pictures here? Is this the one with the... oh, how do I even describe? What's the new one? Okay, well this... Okay, I think I'm seeing the right one, because this picture is the one from Games Workshop. Oh wow, that's quite the deal. And it looks like a very cool, Okay, yeah, that's the new one. That is a very cool model. They did a great job painting the, transitions on the blue and the pink there. Really feel like it's trying to really jump in on a Harlequin thing with the little bit of checkerboard going on there. Very subtle checkerboard on those ribbons. So they're going, welp, I was going corn, but that changed everything. That's totally fair. I feel that. Yeah, it's been more than a couple like Space Marine purchases. I've been planning this for I don't know how long, and then all of a sudden I saw this other saw this like rule snippet or something. It's like, well, that changed my entire plan. Like, you know, it's weird. Some of my conceptually, some of my favorite models are these Centurion Devastators. I just love the idea of them. Really like thick exosuits with really large guns on them. It's great, which is funny because I play Raven Guard, but somehow after 4.5-ish years of collecting Space Marines, I still don't have any Centurions. Yeah, don't ask me how. I don't know. I don't get it. And I didn't get it. Didn't get Centurions. I got a lot of other things in the Space Marine range, let me tell you. But, Centurions continue to elude me. I suppose it doesn't help that they've not been, like, massively good for a long time. So I need to, like, re-manual the focus here. Jumping around so much. Okay, so you were gonna go Corn Army, now you're going Slanesh. Remind me, has the Demon Codex come out yet, or is that just previews I saw? I've not been doing a good job of reading much news except for the League of Votann stuff that like just came out because everyone's talking about how it compared to Space Marines. Pre-orders, right. Okay, that's what I thought. So we still have no idea if either of those armies are good, but I will admit I have seen a couple of the previews of the Slanesh Demonettes. And a while back I played against a buddy that had Slanesh Demons, and it was a small game for Crusade. It was like one of the first games where it's like 25 power level or something like that. Wow, Demonettes are scary. And then I saw all their like melee stats like doubled, or the ones that I cared about anyway, like the number of attacks and stuff. And I'm like, that's horrific. No. People have shown the codex so far certain things are a bit stronger. Well, I mean, it's good overall. It's by my understanding. Trying to get a good track here going. It's really distracting me. Okay, that's like okay, I guess. Demons are one of the like overall one of the worst codexes right now. Like one of the only two that are considered worse than Raven Guard right now, which is what I play. Yeah, I keep forgetting their name. There's a big tier list that came out by some pro players recently, and in D tier, or like completely broken, were Imperial Fists and Demons. And then right above them at the very bottom of C tier was Raven Guard, and I'm like, oh no. Which is why it completely blew me away that at a tournament Sunday, it's last Sunday, I got 3rd place. I can't even, I have no idea how that happened. Especially because I did not play a list that I would think played into the Raven Guard strengths. Like, at all. Actually, maybe that's why it worked. I basically played Imperial Fist. Actually, multiple people joked about me playing Black Armored Imperial Fists that just didn't want to be Black Templars. That just sat in my deployment zone and gunlined. And for some dumb reason, I won 3 matches. Don't ask how. But what I've seen this the Shalexi Hellbane, named Keeper of Secrets, became a blender along with Scarbrand. Well, that makes sense. Things like that should be blenders. What scares me is when normal, cheap dudes like Demonettes become blenders. Like, I don't expect my Assault Intercessor, well, kind of the Assault Intercessors, but not as much. But, like, I don't expect my Intercessors to be blenders. Yeah, Bloodlayers as well. Yeah, I've heard that too. I have a very, very excited local World Eaters player. Now get them up to 5 attacks of damage to that gross. What are they? White Scars? White Scars you can have like Assault Intercessors like these guys that I'm painting right now. Get like damage 2 with how many attacks? Let's see, they'd be 2 plus 1 from Chainsword plus 1 from Shock Assault. So on the charge, they're we have 4 attacks. Strength 4, neg 1. Well, actually, no, I'm pretty sure that happens in Assault Doctrines. Neg 2. damage to. Yeah, rough. Which, I mean, to be fair, neg 1 becomes more meaningless by the day. At least so it seems. Next is the metal of the gun. Let's get some lead belcher. Yeah, this is my mostly empty one. I don't know if there's anything even left in here. Oh yeah, a little bit. Oh, I don't even know when that happened, but... People were saying it was pointless to take blood layers with world eaters. Are they worth it now? Well... Okay, so we won't know the answer to that until we get both the Demon Codex and the World Eaters Codex. Because I think they confirmed their Ganga Codex. It's really hard to shake mostly empty paint to anything meaningful. Because we gotta know what they're losing by souping, you know? Or if they can soup seamlessly. You know? Because all of that is, in theory, on the table. I don't know. World Eaters, I don't know to run with Corn Demons very often. At least in the lore. Like, Angron does, but that's because he's a Demon Primarch, so yeah. But like... waiting for World Eaters Cook, since just the idea of Scarbrand with Angron. Yeah, nah. Okay. I do have one problem with all these, like, large killer characters. And that's this rule they keep putting out, which is the damage limitations. Because I just experienced that firsthand for, I think, the first, maybe second time. Because the Necron list I went up against in the tournament had the Void Dragon. And I'm like, I'm sitting here as Raven Guard with a bunch of bonuses against this guy, in theory. Actually, no, he doesn't have the character keyword. Never mind, but still. Oh, hey, I keep forgetting how to say your name. Hey, Gosu. Gosu. Yeah, no, I know. Every single time. I know. Every single time I forget. My... You know what it really doesn't help me is that I'm the type that, like... You can tell me your name at, like, a party, and I'll ask you for it, like, 4 more times to the party, but your face will be locked in my mind for, like, the rest of eternity. I will never forget your face again. Through chat, I don't even get your face. Yeah, right? Like, now I'm perfectly comfortable with telling people straight up, oh, awesome, nice to meet you. Just letting you know, I will probably ask your name several times before the night's done. Because, yeah, it's not gonna be fixed. It's just how I am. But yeah, like, I don't have faces, which, yeah, it's just, yeah. Anyway, so, Gosu, how you doing? Welcome back. I currently went through the struggle of getting a little bit of lead belcher out of a nearly empty pot, and I'm now going to be painting a bolt pistol. If my mixer can give me some decent music. Sure, sounds funky and weird. Why not? Just gonna go with it. Alright, anyway. What was I talking about before? Oh, damage limitations. So I'm sitting here with an ungodly amount of firepower in this tournament list. Good man almost on my Adeptus Titanicus Titan. About to go pick up the 10 Iron Warriors Tyrant Siege Terminators that my friend printed for me. Very nice. I actually love those guys. For Traitor Legions, Iron Warriors are among my favorite. Even before Adeptus Ridiculous really cemented that in there. Because of certain Perturabo jokes. Anyway. Right, so I'm sitting there with a Sikaran Vander, with Las Cannons, and a Storm Raven, and and Eradicators and Hellblasters and a Relic Contempt Dreadnought, and all these things are still on the field. Alright, yeah, they're still on the field with most of the Necrons dead. That game ended with the Void Dragon and like one other, one character that was hiding, like alive. And most of my army was still on the field. And I'm like, if this was anything else, it would be super dead. I don't care what defenses it had. Like, I had so much firepower. I didn't even bother shooting him. Because I can't kill him. Oh yeah, the tournament. So, you know how I was going for just, for best painted? Like, super hard? Because it was by popular vote, because it was a small local tournament, we had 10 people in total. I did not win best painted. A Black Templars player won it. They had decent painting, but it was mostly that they had a lot of, like, style going for them. Ironically, because a lot of my stuff was, like, super converted, but whatever. Anyway, did not get best painted, but I did get, against all of my expectations, I got 3rd place. I won all 3 of my games. It was only because the top 2 players had runaway victories with a Iron Warriors and a 75 plus model Black Templars Horde list. Dear God, that both got that both had like multiple triple digit point games. Like they just crushed multiple people, and I, because of random chance, was not pitted against them. So I did like pretty well and ended up in 3rd. Yeah, I know. He put it's a bros before toys list and just pulls up this magnetized tray of like it looked like a showcase of someone's like entire Space Marine collection of just like all their infantry. Oh, thanks, man. So here's the funny thing. Everyone agreed that on a technical level, I was best painted. But they voted for the other guy because they liked his little touches here and there. Like a whole bunch of his army had scripting all over the armor. For example, he had a knight with his Black Templars that had like the bikini. I can speak. Bikini chick transfer on the shoulder pad like it was a World War II fighter, which even I had to vote for because that's just funny. So yeah, it is what it is. I'll definitely take 3rd place though. I did not expect to do that good. Especially against Drakari, Necrons, and Space Wolves. Granted, Space Wolves conceded, but whatever. I don't imagine it being that good in tourney. I just think it would be fun to have 2 of the angriest models on the table. Oh yeah, well here's the thing. If you can bring them both and they both have damage limiters, and they have fly, because they both have wings, they would be probably pretty good. At least at containing the enemy army. It would be how you also get points is the question. Which, even if it's just denying them primary points for keeping them off objectives outside their own deployment zone, is still a legitimate tactic, because I'm pretty sure that's a big part of how the other guys got, like, triple-digit points, so they just didn't let their enemy out of their deployment zone. Which is funny, because I barely left my deployment zone. It was all guns. I talked about this earlier, Gosu, but for you. I changed up my list so it's all gun line. It was just a ton of guns. And a lot of them really powerful, like a lot, like so much anti-armor that it was enough anti-armor to be anti-infantry. Like, I'm not even joking. I consistently ran out of armor to, like, kill pretty quickly. Like, by the second half of my shooting phase in turn 2, I was like, I'm out of vehicles, I'm now going to begin pointing anti-tank guns at your elites. And then at your infantry. Like, at your like, chaff. Like, I was shooting, Eradicators at the Necron Guard dudes and stuff. Like, it was... I evaporated a, what was it? Archon. Did I evaporate the Archon with the Sikaran, or I think it was Sikaran. I think I evaporated Sikaran with the, not Sikaran, evaporated an Archon with the main cannon of a Sikaran. Because I was like, that's the most priority thing to, like, target here. With the Sikaran. At strength 12, neg 3, flat 6 damage. That's 3 shots. And just in case I missed, I pointed my 2 last cannons at him too. Of course, the first shot went through, so the Archon ceased to exist. Grant, I did get rid of his like 2-up invuln thing with some bolter fire from the flank. I'm having a really hard time talking fluidly today. I say that like I ever talk fluidly. Oh, in Discord notifications, people asking me what I mean that the Raven Guard player base is losing their mind right now in Rage. Because Volton updates. Some of the smell is going on very transparently. I don't appreciate it. Try to figure out how to get my brush in here. But yeah, no, Relics Current. I already really like the model. I liked the 8th edition. I'm really liking it in 9th edition. Like it was great to point that thing at. I think they're called Raiders. The big Jabba's Palace skiff thing Drukhari have. And I go, alright, so how many wounds does that thing have? 11. Oh, cool. So it just took 18 points of damage. And I guess my last cannons don't fire. It's absurd when they all go through. And they don't have like any type of retaliation against that. Like even when you have I guess this Drukhari like almost all had feel no pains. Even when you have a feel no pain, you get hit by like flat 6 damage. You have a hard time getting back up. That's just how that goes. Alright, I think the metal's done there. I'm gonna fix up some of the black. And I gotta put, let's see. The most efficient way I want to say is I next put Eshin Gray and then, Dawnstone on the gun for highlighting, and then use the Dawnstone on the seals like I usually do. Then put the Nuln Oil on everything. And probably while I'm waiting to dry, I'll do that little wire thing in the back there, which I usually do red. Yeah, tournament went great. I flexed on some people with a very underpowered army. Oh, to be totally fair, I did mention this earlier as well. The Raven Guard secondary is actually like pretty good. So for clarity, the Raven Guard secondary, called Secure and Sabotage. And basically, when you get a infantry corps, I want to say. It could say troop, but I want to say infantry corps. To an objective. You can do an action at the end of your movement that finishes at the end of your turn. Like your turn. They can't interrupt it. To plant explosives on it. You can later, if the enemy controls that objective, detonate the explosives, and everything within 6 inches on like a 2-up takes like D3 or D6 mortal wounds or something. It's just a ridiculous amount of mortal wounds. However, the trick is you never use that, because at the end of the match, for every explosive you have on a objective, which by the way you can't do it on objectives multiple times. Well, you can't put multiple explosives on an objective. I'm pretty sure you can replace ones you've blown up. I guess you could use it in that case if you're actually going for points. But But yeah, generally I don't explode them. You get 3 victory points. Oh, and you have to control the objective before you can plant it. But yeah, effectively what it means is turn 1 I forward deploy my infiltrators onto midfield objectives, and I have intercessors on my deployment objective, and then immediately on my turn I plant explosives on them, and I just don't do anything with those troops. Go about my turn, and at the end of my turn I can just jot down 3 points per, which on average was 9 points. Although in one game I did get a 4th objective, I believe. Didn't I get a 4th objective? Nope, I thought I did against the Dracaria, but I had read the rule wrong and I was doing it wrong, and I actually had to negate 6 points. I mean, I still beat it by a ton. It was like 63 to 47, I want to say, at the end of that. Alright, Eshin Gray. Which was nice, because last time I fought that guy's Jakari, he completely crushed me. With his bloody Archon laying into a Relic Contemptor that he just bum rushed through 4 Lascans and 2 frac missiles, because this was back in 8th edition. Or the very beginning of 9th, I forget which. And that 2-up Invuln, man. Actually, I think what did the most damage to me, in a sense, was the fact that all his stuff had, like, Invulns and Feel No Pains, so he was constantly rolling. Which actually, like, got rid of a lot of my time, because we were doing time turns. So multiple times I had, a whole crap load of my army that didn't even do anything. But it's fine, it ended up not mattering in the end. Ugh. In fact, I think I'm still kind of tired from the tournament. It's Wednesday. I keep thinking it's like Tuesday or something. I took Monday off for people that were looking for my stream Monday. That's why I didn't stream. I was absolutely exhausted after like 10 hours of Warhammer. Oh man, this is hard to see with this low lighting. This is very close to the original color in this level lighting. I can't see. Oop, I hit the camera. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing, because I can't see crap. Going mostly off the shine of wet paint. Oh, yeah, you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. You guys can tell I'm not doing a great job. Very scraggly highlights you get going there. Yeah, Scarbrand and Angron at the table same time, and I'm assuming they're gonna both have damage limiters. That's a nightmare. So in other news, the job hunt continues. Not looking great. Not gonna lie. But it's going. Fortunately, I think I might have found a few things that'll help stem the tide for a little while. In case nothing continues to happen there. And of course, if I grow enough on here, I might not even need it, but growing at that level in just a couple months might be a little unrealistic. I got another ASMR track. Jeez. Orbital winds. Well then. I'm assuming that's the wind of just the earth spinning. Maybe just wind. Maybe just someone put a fan up against, you know, their... I say fan. Put a mic up against their fan. Imagine doing that and making money off that. You made money using your like house fan to use to keep cool in the summer. You just put a mic up to it and people paid you for it. There's a sound engineer somewhere like, yep, that's basically my job. Dude, why is everyone messaging? Every time I go to stream, that's when everyone wants to talk to me. Just tell them to just come and talk to me on the stream if it's so important. Alright, that's the Ocean Gray. Now for Dawnstone. Yeah, it's only been an hour. Oh. Feels like longer. I think it's because I got up early today. It also means I ate early today. It's been longer since I've eaten than normal. Probably wasn't a great idea. Probably might have been better off waiting a little while longer to eat breakfast. I didn't have such a long gap between that and my next meal. When did I eat breakfast? Oh yeah, like 9:30. I'm not supposed to eat again until like 6. Jeez. Why'd I do that? It's dumb. Like, it's definitely not helping me stay on a calorie deficit doing that to myself. Just get tired and hungry, like, for most of the day. Are you doing 24-hour fasting right now? Dude, I've been intending on doing that for like a good couple weeks. I've done it a couple times before. And I've just been feeling like it's time again. I just haven't been able to find like a good day combo to go from one to the next without potentially screwing myself on some kind of like business or creative endeavor. Yeah, I'm trying to get one in soon. Maybe it's good that I wait like another week or so, because I also just upped my workout. Which, ironically, I did that yesterday, and I was immediately rewarded by a weigh-in that had me in a whole new, like, weight bracket I hadn't reached before. I'm, 134 pounds yesterday, which is first time I've been under 135 since I was, like, 20. £40. I'd fast like this every day for like the last 2 months. 40 pounds since mid-June. Holy crap. Dude, I've only gone down... Oh, well, you know what? A lot of it's just like gut fat that just I don't like. And I'm also, you know, honestly trying to get some like general muscle definition. But here's the thing, I'm only 5'5". So like I could probably get down to like 120, and actually I would look good at 120. I'm a small dude. I'm built like thin or lithe if I'm in shape. But I'm also only like 5'5". I'm very tiny. Which is also why like you're like 40 pounds since mid-June, and I'm down like 25 pounds since mid-June of last year. Yeah, so that's quite different. We're playing two different games right now. For me, it's really hard to lose weight, period. I am gaining muscle definition fairly well, I'd like to think. But yeah, me trimming down is really hard. I do have a high metabolism, but what comes with that is like for me to actually be productive, I have to eat a lot. So it's more like I went through a good phase of just adjusting what I was eating to try to make up for that. Which I think I'm doing pretty good now. I'm like 80% keto at this point. I don't know if I'm actually going to try to go for absolute ketosis, because a lot of carbs I eat now are fruit, which I really like and do really well for me in a few different ways. But yeah, it's a lot of like meats and dark greens, a lot of protein. Yeah, really cleaned up my diet over the last year. Just stay off the carbs, work out a ton. I got to head to the post office. Yeah, I'll be on for another hour. If not, you can try to hit me tonight, 8 Eastern. I'll be on again for another 2 hours tonight. Yeah, I'll catch you later, Gosu. I just noticed my voice changes tone when I jump between standard conversation and like farewells. I don't know if that's normal or just me. The strange ponderings of a crazy person. But yeah. I definitely feeling the upping my workout. Like, man, my core is tight right now. It don't want to move. Whole bunch of new workout styles I've not really done before. So it's gonna take a little while to get into the groove of them. But it's good. Feels good. Probably the one part of my life that's going particularly consistently good right now. So I'm just gonna take comfort, and that is continuing to go good. I mean, you could say the painting's going good, but I mean, to be honest, I still have way too many white scars to paint. So, you know... Let's see, what do I have left? After this, like, not including this guy, who's, like, partially done, like, nearly half done at this point. I still have 5 more Assault Intercessors. 3 Outriders. 3 Blade Guard Vets? I want to say it's 3 and not 6. I really hope it's 3 and not 6. It might be 6, but I'm really hoping it's 3. A Ancient, or the Blade Guard Ancient, Chaplain on a bike, and Kasara Khan. All to this, like, absurd level, if not better. Kasara Khan is technically up 1. I'm going to be pulling out a lot of stops on him. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Kasara Khan took me, like, nearly a week just by himself. For reference, it takes me on average 2.5 to 3 days of, like, solid painting work days to get through an Assault Intercessor. But, contract. Gotta get her done. It's not much, but it's honest work. I don't know if that's technically true, but, you know. One can hope. News been, now I'm not painting a crap ton for the tournament. I've been actually playing video games again for the first time in a while. Like, more than, you know, a negligible amount of time every other week. Let's see. Kind of just been hopping between Enlisted and this very niche 4X strategy game from like 10 years ago called Sword of the Stars 2. Enlisted's really like hot and cold for me lately. Like, either I'm doing amazing and I'm loving it, or I do terrible. I just have like a real bad time. Last night was an example of a really bad time. For some reason, just... So I mostly play Americans on the Normandy campaign. Which is mostly offense, obviously, if you think about it. So all my stuff is tailored for offense. And for some reason, I think it was like 4 matches in a row. I don't know if maybe they had a thing going on where they were switching it up or what. But 4 matches in a row before I got sick of it and just logged off. It kept putting me on defense, where I do terribly. Like... Or at least terribly by my standard. Anyway, like, I'm still usually one of the best ones on the team, but we usually lose. I'm usually dying a lot. I'm getting a decent number of kills, but, like... You know... 50-60 kills ain't actually as good of a game as it sounds like in that game. Not when, like, a really good match, like a match where I'm in the flow and I'm loving it and I'm just, like, going ham, is, like, 120 to 130 kills. It's not strange for that many kills in that game. Because most of it's AI. It's all the people in a squad that the person is not directly controlling. And they're mostly dumb and run in groups, and you can... if you can actually control the machine gun you're operating, for example, you can just mow down a whole squad of them. Or flamethrower is usually even better, and submachine guns even better than that. I've had single tank games, or tank lives, where I've gone, 50 kills before. Actually, I just did that a few days ago. That game I had like 127 kills, I want to say. I was driving an What was it? It was a Stewart, I want to say. It was like the light tank. I had 7 tank kills and dozens of infantry kills. I don't remember how many exactly, because it's hard to measure out the way they track and show your skills, not your skills, your kills after the game. Hard to tell what you got in the tank exactly. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think it's all the known oil. I'll move on to that wire in the back. Yeah, I don't know what was up with their tankers, but I mean, they were trying to kill me. But for like the first time ever, I actually got out and with my tank squad and actually used not just a toolkit, like I was able to back away from a fight or eliminate the threat and then back away a bit, so I had a little bit of cover from my team's infantry. Repair it and go back into the fight again. I did that 3 times. I actually used up all of my available toolkits because one of the guys died at one point. Which is fine. I actually only need 2 guys to like actually utilize that tank correctly. A driver and a gunner. That's all you need, really. And you got 4 guys in there. You also have a commander and a radio operator, which in theory I think is supposed to be able to call in airstrikes, but I've never been able to figure out how. Despite having... Oh, it's not on Steam, so I can't tell you how many hours I have in that game. A fair number of hours. Well into triple digits. I can say that. I don't know, well into triple digits. Definitely in triple digits, though. I've been playing that game off and on since, like, last fall. So, coming up on a year. Fortunately, the first, like, while, I was doing the Normandy campaign, but on Xbox, and doing both. Both factions, which, at the time, the resources were resources to buy new troops, new equipment, and upgrade them and stuff was a lot more sparse. It was a lot harder, and the resources you get in a campaign, for some reason, apply to both factions in the campaign. And then over the winter, I was doing the Moscow campaign as the Russians for a good while. Ironically, also I could try out their anti-tank rifle, only to find out it completely sucks. It's hilarious to shoot infantry with, especially through buildings, but it does like nothing to tanks. It was such a letdown. I don't know if they've patched that since, but man, it was bad. So now I've been playing with the Americans solely, because on the Xbox One, ironically, even though I was playing as both sides, so it would randomly flip you, I kept getting Germans, and like ended up with really like decently leveled Germans. So like I already knew how the Germans played. Really well is the answer to that. A lot of the equipment's really good, especially early on. I don't know about super late game, but I mean, you do eventually get MG42, so you know. On the flip side, though, their main infantry, unless you're buying Grewers like crazy, which Grewers still aren't, like, super amazing, basic dudes, the Americans win out the Garand pretty hard, because this is Enlisted, which is made by the people that made War Thunder, or at least partnered with them, so the stuff's fairly realistic. So the M1 Garand, with its firing a 30-06, actually... it does work. Like, that thing drops people with single chest shots reliably. Never takes more than a 2-tap, and that's usually because they have a perk. It's fairly hard to get that gives them extra health. But generally speaking, like you can walk into or run into a squad of Germans advancing on you. And you have an Emigrant, and you just trigger finger into like a tight group of them, and you'll down the entire thing with a single mag of Emigrant. By the way, it's only 8 rounds. That's enough for 5 dudes. Like with ease. And at short range, it is surprisingly accurate. Medium range is fairly good. Long range, I mean, you can. It's a bit hard. You can do it. I've not tried the sniper variant, where, you know, later levels of sniper, you get Emigrant with a scope on it, but I know it exists. But yeah, as soon as I could, I gave all of my dudes Emigrants, and they had just changed how the resources work in that game, so it's way easier to buy lots of guns. So now all of my dudes, at minimum, have an Emigrant. It's gonna take a lot longer, but eventually they're all gonna have an M1, Browning M1911. Browning M1911? That Colt. I don't know, the M1911, you know the pistol. You know what I'm talking about. Downside is that takes 2 silver orders, while an Emigrant takes 1. They're twice as expensive. So usually just my guys that have special weapons or equipment that have pistols, like machine gunners and snipers. Which, yes, you will eventually get the Browning automatic rifle, the BAR. And it does fire a 30-06, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, the BAR, the BAR, 20-round box mag automatic rifle. Shoots the same round as the Emigrant. It's a full auto Emigrant, like flat out. And I've seen other people use it, and it mows people down so hard. It's fairly accurate, and just nukes people. Don't have that yet. It's really high level. I do have the Bren, which is okay. It does knock people one shot almost every time. You have to hit them in like the foot for them to not go down. Downside, the Bren's got crazy recoil. So most of the time, I'm doing like semi-auto or like 2-round bursts. I rarely shoot full auto, and that's usually when I'm doing suppressing fire. But it's still pretty good. I do have a machine gun squad with 3 Brens in it. And I'm working on getting more dudes with for like I think I just got them artillery. And like an engineer later for like ammo. Because they do go through ammo pretty quick. You only get 3 rounds. I mean, not 3 rounds. Yeah, 3 rounds. You get three magazines. This is 90 rounds. And you'd be amazed how fast you go through that. Because you miss pretty often. But yeah, I'm consistently running out of ammo at the Bren. But it's fine. You get in a good position, I think can do work. I'm gonna pop some red ink on that. Smooth all that down. Then I can move on to the highlight for... Oh yeah, I just remembered that the whole shoulder trim is supposed to be red. Well, I got the red out, so may as well. Not caring for this track. Sure. Sure, why not? Anyway. Red trim. only thing that's really annoying me right now in the game is the fact that Germans now at my level have access to the Panther 3. You know, Panzer 3. Which none of the American tanks can really penetrate at this level unless you have a higher rank dude that has an M4 Sherman. Because you have, at least the level I'm at specifically, you have either the Stuart or the Scott. Those that don't know, the Scott is a howitzer tank. It's effectively a howitzer, a short range howitzer, short to medium range howitzer on a tank chassis, which like bodies infantry, like hilariously bodies infantry, and can penetrate like their first quote unquote tank that's actually just a IFV with a cannon on a on like a 6-wheeled armored chassis. Will penetrate that because this is still 75mm, and that thing is an IFV. I mean, not technically because this is before IFVs were really like coined, but you know, you get the idea. It's like a half track with the minus the track plus fully enclosed. Anyway, so the Scott can deal with that, but when the Panzer 3 comes out, the Stuart can't penetrate at all. Scott can't penetrate at all. And anti-tank grenade launcher type system they got going on doesn't really do much either. You only really have two hopes. Either a bomber drops the big bombs. I just know they're triple-digit kilograms. That's all I know. I just know they're really freaking big. Or what's it called? Explosive packs you can carry as your grenade, which just about all my guys carry anyway, because they're almost as good as grenades. Like as a grenade, like you throw them into a window and they will definitely blow up at least most of the people in the room. But the main thing is if you toss them on top of the engine block of a tank, or you manage to get it to blow up underneath the tank, that will usually do it. Sometimes you need a couple for a Panzer. I'm really screwing up this red, but it really doesn't want to get in on that inner corner there. Granted, we did get anti-tank mines, or I got anti-tank mines pretty recently, but they're fairly expensive at 2 orders per. Which basically how that whole thing works, you get different grade orders for different kinds of stuff and logistics that you then equip to your individual guys. So like for every guy you want to have a mine, you have to buy an individual mine. Now the mines automatically restock with everything restocks with every spawn, so you're not actually buying ammo or anything, but you have to buy the gun or the med kit or the grenade or whatever. So, yeah, I could start packing more mines and then hope I can place them in places that it works. Well, it's a little hard when you're usually in offense. I say that after having a session where I played 4 matches on defense. But I am saving a lot of my orders for when I get my next squad, which is Mortarmen, pretty soon, because I'm going to have to buy all new equipment for that squad as it fills out. Some of the squads you can kind of just get away with not spending nearly as much because you're recycling dudes from other squads. So like I've managed to make do with just like the same 3 radio dudes to call in artillery for like a while now. Stuff like that. But yeah. Maybe I will look into the math of what it would take for me to get a bunch of anti-tank mines in that game. Also, if anyone ever wants to watch me play games instead of painting at some point, ask. Because right now my brand is primarily painting. I'd like to get some demand before I do anything divergent. But It would be fun. Alright, well that was pretty messy. Get up some cleanup. I need to clean up that dot in the middle anyway. No idea what that's from, it just kind of appeared there. I'm assuming at some point I was messing with either Drakenhof Nightshade or blue ink, and it splashed, like, super far. Maybe Gilliman Blue? Did I use Gilliman Blue recently? I used Drakenhof recently. Maybe I don't know. In any event, one of those things must have splashed. Alright, I'm gonna use my size 0 for the trim here. Yeah, I need more paint. That's too thin. But I probably won't stream, even though I'd love to, but I probably would just refuse to because of mechanical issues. Is that Sword of the Stars game, even though it's like one of my favorite games ever, well, the original was anyway. Just, it's unstable right now. So, you know, if I play for a couple hours, I'll have at least 1, if not 2 points in the session. Where I'll get stuck for a couple minutes because it'll crash trying to load into combat or something. I gotta like figure out which instance of combat is causing the crash and then like change my strategic orders to avoid that conflict entirely. Additionally, the end turn loading is getting longer as the game progresses, and that's not a thing I can really fix because it's not a power issue. I have a modern gaming laptop that can play Elden Ring at max settings, no problem, for hours on end, and this game came out in like 2011. So, it's not a power issue, it's just a thing with the game, but it was forced to release early, and never really fully got there. And I play it out of niche loyalty, and it's the only game that gives me some specific things as an experience. In addition to, I love the story and lore of the game. Been playing the original for like nearly, let's see, like 13 years. Been playing the original game off and on. Like, jeez. Oh, hey, Butterfly. Been a while. Don't mind me, I was just pondering? No. Getting lost in my memory. I'm supposed to be painting. I have been doing solidly okay. On one hand, had a Warhammer tournament Sunday, which went really well. I mean, I didn't get best painted, which was my goal, but I did actually place in the tournament itself, which was, I mean, I was ready to accept last place going into that thing because Raven Guard is sucking. I got 3rd. So I'll tell you, oh, man, when did that even happen? Anyway. Raven Guard. I mean, it's the only army I personally own. I came in with a founding chapter like shooty army, which doesn't even make sense, and it actually did extremely well. It wasn't broken good, which is what first and second were using, but I mean, not necessarily broken good, just, you know, Iron Warriors was one, and the other one was a Black Templar Horde list. I mean, like 75 plus ish, kind of, somewhere in the 70s. Black Templar infantry in that list. Like, dear lord, what even? Glad I didn't have to go against it. Actually, at one point, I kind of wanted to go against it to see how my list would do against it, because I had a lot of damage too, or higher weapons, and I had so much anti-tank that in my other games, I was using them as anti-infantry weapons. Usually because their tanks were, or their armor was, their vehicles were gone. So I'm back to painting the White Scars commission, as I was painting my own stuff for a while for that tournament. But oh, son of a, what even just happened there? I don't know. I got clean all the white up anyway, just making it more. Anyway, some of my brushes have been giving out. Anyway, moving on. So this is a White Scars Assault Intercessor arm. We've got body going in here. I've got 5 more of these to go before moving on to more interesting stuff. How about you, Butterfly? What have you been painting? Better be painting something. Are you using Keep on the Stick? Oh, it's just glue. It's just super glue on a nail shoved in a wine cork with a quarter on the bottom as ballast when I actually like put it down. I don't just knock it right over. It actually works as a pretty good base. So yeah, quarter, cork, like just like a carpentry nail, like a thin head carpentry nail, and then glue. Yeah, I always glue it at like a connection point where there's not going to be paint anyway. So when I pop it off, I just, you know, scrape off the excess glue and then stick it on the other thing. When you're painting in sub-assemblies, it's pretty easy. When doing whole models, I usually do it kind of like this, where I glue it on the foot. And of course, I've got handles or, you know, stuff on bases. You know, here's the newer one. Older one post bony Necrons. Oh, nice. This is a battle. Let's go. Only painted the one figure. My week off got crazy. I hate that when it happens. I mean, I haven't had a week off in years, but I mean, like any kind of vacation. Oh yeah, I think we talked about your week off. Like 2 weeks ago or something like that. Sorry it's getting off crazy. Might want to reel that in a bit so you can actually enjoy it. Do I still have to trim here? Just like the bottom needs another coat. Wow, I don't know what it is with this brush. This brush wants to like flay out so easy. Guess I gotta be more gentle with it. I'm probably gonna soften all this with red ink, but still. Okay. Yeah, I had all of last week off, but got engaged Monday morning. Oh, well, congratulations in that case. I wouldn't say crazy as just, you had higher priorities. Good man. So when's the wedding and who is not invited? At least in my, tertiary experience, it's often the more important list. Wanted to be home. Nah, bro, I didn't want to go off to our families to show the ring. Wanted to be home painting. Oh, okay, I see it. I see. So you did the engagement, and then and then she forced you to go and like show it off and everything. Yeah, no, that sounds about right. It's like it's my week off from work. Like, jeez. Yeah, I hear you, man. I've been there. Not specifically that, but I've been with a chick that like was always throwing stuff into our calendar just cause, and I'm like, can I just like actually relax for a second? She'd be like, nah. In 2024, 24. Oh wow, out there, but fair enough. It's right now. Who knows what's coming around the corner? Stuff's crazy right now. Try and get a reasonable track on here. Yeah, I think we're good to put red ink on this trim. Yeah, sure, that works. Whatever. My female, my female. She's quite good. I'm very introvert, still like seeing people. Yeah, I was once like that. Then I got so isolated, and now I'm quite open to people. I will accept people around now. I'm still pretty quick to get rid of ones that abuse that fact. Um, you know, I have standards. But yeah, work from home, living in a basement for a year will do that to you. Where's my other size 0? There we go. Actually, to apply this, I'm gonna use this brush. Size 1 cheap brush from some pack of some out. The red ink is going to change the orangish to more of a red, and it's going to soften the dark red into a more saturated red. I think it's going to be a lot better. Let's I'm going to work on the gun and then do a whole bunch of white cleanup before doing the white armor because, dear God, did that trim go on messy. So which order are you painting in those sisters, dude? Going with like the standard black armor, and I don't know what the name of that one is, but like the classic one, or are you going off the rails? I don't know if there is an order for this, but I think white with blue trim would look pretty good. Just did box art for the one I did. Oh, okay, gotcha. Nice. Just standard black armor. No interest in playing, so the next one is I'm going purple. Oh. Ah, you are a full hobbyist slash painter. Zero gameplay. Fair enough. At this point, I do basically everything. read the lore, play the game, the occasional tournament when I can, and I paint and convert and collect. I don't think there's really a part of the hobby I don't touch on. Not there's a good way or a bad way or a right way, wrong way of doing it. It's just that's just what I do. Sorry, getting tired. I was talking about this earlier. I'm on a I'm doing a calorie deficit, and I, like a genius, had a very early breakfast. So yeah, I'm pretty tired. I fall asleep to Warhammer lore vids. Fair enough. Currently, I'm through this feels to do 24-hour fasts every day. Oh, dude, I don't know if he'll get back before I end, but yeah, I was talking to another guy that does that. Where you do, isn't it like you just do one meal in a day? So like everything before and after that is, you know, it's effectively 24 hours. He was doing the same thing. He's lost like 40 pounds since mid-June. I'm like, that's nuts. Granted, he's also, I guess, 6 foot. I have dinner at 6. I also have, well, for me it's lunch because I actually go late. I eat my dinner usually around 11 because I go to bed at usually around 2. But today I woke up at like 7:30, tried to go back to sleep, ended up just staying up. So I got up at 8, worked out, showered, had a breakfast. By then it was like 9ish. So yeah, like a genius, I had my breakfast at 9 instead of the usual like 10, 10:30, 11. And now I'm having my next meal at 6, and I'm like, jeez. Yeah, I can't do every day only one meal. I have a really high metabolism already. I'm a small guy. Really high metabolism, like even just a little bit of a calorie deficit now. Yeah, I have no idea what stone is, dude. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to translate that into pounds for me to have any clue you're talking about. Or even like kilograms, I can kind of get a concept, but like stone, like... I suppose I can try to Google it. In a second here. 280 pounds at the... Okay, 280 pounds at the before or after? As the before. So you're probably like around 250. Yeah, I figured you were a bigger guy. You are literally a solid foot taller than me. So when I say I've gone, like, since I moved out of my ex's last July, I've lost 25 pounds. On my way to 30. So I went from 260, or not 260, 160 to 130. I just got under 135, but I'm 5'5", and built small. Lithe, I prefer. I'm well, I'm not skinny. Like, I have muscle. I can be athletic. Yeah. But yeah, I'm a solid foot shorter than you. So, at your new weight, you're probably a solid 100 pounds more than I was when I started losing weight. I can't. Well, what I mean is like I have meat that can turn into muscle. Like, well, my legs have always been muscular, but like, um, I'm not skinny. Lithe is effectively like muscular skinny. I mean, at one point I was an electrician working construction sites, so I mean, like, I can be strong. I hated that work though. Dear God, I hated that work. Um, didn't even pay well either, all things considered. What time is it? Quarter of? 15 minutes. I think I can finish. Well, I'm pretty certain I can finish the gun here. Which I'm having a hard time having paint actually go on there. Uh, this is actually all GW. I mean, for my stuff, I use Army Painter. But this is actually just Lead Belcher, Non Oil, and then Stormhost Silver. Or no, not Stormhost Silver, Ironbreaker. Um, it is on a white base coat. I didn't go super thick with it. Like, I did just enough to keep it opaque. But, yeah, it's not, this is actually just bog standard. For my stuff, I use Army War Painter, metallics. It's just while I'm going through commissions, I'm, like, working my way through my huge stock of GW metallics. So a while back, this was like in the middle of the pandemic. There is a special on Amazon where I could just get like a bunch of lead belcher cheap. So I did. So I had like 6 pots of lead belcher. And then I only went through like one of them before I got the Army Painter metallic set for Christmas. And then it's like, oh man, these are so much better. I gotta go through all this lead belcher. I got 2 pot Stormhost Silver, which I like never use because I then got Ironbreaker, so like I only use it on like actually super shiny metal, which isn't super often with Space Marines. It's kind of a mess. Best way I can figure doing these like bolts, by the way. You line a whole bunch of them up and you just slide right along the top, very gently. All of it? Yeah. I got the whole gun? I think I did. Alright. Now I begin cleaning up all this white so I can do the white armor. Which will probably get picked up in the next stream, in all reality. As with 13 minutes left, I'm gonna be surprised if I use Monument Hobbies brushes primarily. I've got a bunch of older brushes from all kinds of places, but Monument Hobbies Pro are my favorite, my go-to. Especially their Sable line, which is what this is. It's a size 0 Sable, which I use for like the really fine detail work and stuff. Most of the time I'm using between sizes 1 and 3, depending on usually like how the brush is feeling that day. But whatever has the most point to it. Oh, I think it still has some red in it. Alright. So I've not used any of Age of Squidmar stuff, so I would have no idea how this brush is going to turn out, so maybe you can just get back to me on that. Be a bit of a talent scout. Product reviewer. Oh, hey Gosu, welcome back. You made it. Made it for the last like 10 minutes or so. Get the Iron Warriors. Picked up my first Tyrant. I just picked up my Tyrant Siege Termies and my first actually nice brush. Got a Winsor Newton Series 7 number 2 size brush. Very fancy. I've heard a lot of Winsor Newtons. I've never actually tried them. I went for a middle of the line with Monument Hobbies Pro Series, and that's that was good enough for me. I think they're great. I've now gotten 2 of their Sable packs, partially to replace like 1 or 2 brushes that finally died on me. Although ironically, one of them I screwed up almost immediately, so I'm thinking of buying another single one. I also got their synthetics, which are good. Synthetics in general I find are kind of hit and miss. I don't particularly care for using them. I mean, granted I'm using one right now, but this one like acts in a very weird way that like I can use to my advantage. This is an Artist Loft. I don't know, it's from some like cheap like Walmart pack or something like that. It's just good for like base coating stuff. The thing is, like, this one's bristles like have hooked in a weird way to make it very reliable for cutting edges. Like in this case, like staying right alongside but not necessarily touching the shoulder trim. Notice I've been a little high this whole time. But yeah, I was just talking to Pimp Butterfly here. Apparently, both of you do the 24-hour daily fasting with like the one meal. So that was pretty interesting. I did manage to get a little white on the friggin' trim. Yeah, I couldn't do that. My metabolism is so high, I would lose it. Like, I'm still eating 3 square meals a day and I'm still famished like all friggin' day. I'm so hungry. But I was like usually hungry before. I think it's the big brain. It was rough for like the first 2 days. Yeah, I'm like 4 days into my current calorie deficit and yeah. I could just devour like an entire turkey right now. Like I'm ready to go. And I'm not even like lowering it by like a lot. I'm just lowering it by like a little while also upping my workout. And I'm ready to go like run out the door and like hunt a bird with my bare hands. Which I guess is how I know it's working. Like the amount I am cutting is meaningful. Even though it's not even a lot. But yeah, I suppose everything can potentially impact way more or way less because of my size difference with most dudes. Gosu is probably unpacking his Terminator, is all like giddy. He's not looking at the chat that is speaking to him. I see a butterfly. I was like... I'm over here thinking, Gosu, the man asked you a question. And I'm like, ah, well, he just got Terminators. Alright, that's pretty clean. They cleaned that up pretty good. Yeah. The light's like playing off it weird, but anyway. Alright, so I'm not gonna start at the next step because there just plainly isn't time, but... Oh, I can actually clean that little plate up there, that like armpit plate. Anyway, yeah, that's that. Um, yeah, depending on what happens between now and next stream at 8 p.m. Eastern, translate that as necessary. Might be picking up white on this arm in that stream, or might start the chainsword arm. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm probably gonna end up starting the chainsword arm at some point next stream, but yeah. Yeah, it's 2 hours and right on time. My timer mentions that I designed my own merch, of which I will also have right to actually use next stream. I keep forgetting going to go clean it out, but one example is let me fix the focus here. Warning, this is a coffee mug, not a brush rinse cup. Mugs like this for gamers, by gamers, hobbyists, and video gamers alike are available on the shop. Link that just popped up in chat. I got a bunch of ideas for more stuff. I just haven't had time to design it. Like I've got a whole line of D&D based shirts in the works. The cleric one's already designed. I just haven't got around to making the other classes. But yeah, the more support I get through this, the more I can focus on this. Less time I have to put towards other pursuits to make everything work. Hey, it was great hanging out with you guys. And I feel encouraged now by your guys' extremeness in your fast to tough it out for the next 2 hours before my dinner, or, the family's dinner, my lunch, is ready. And if you're around tonight, then I'll see you then. Have a good one, everyone.